We have to connect the dots for people. And so right now, the issue that we have been talking about is Donald Trump's consolidation of power, which is what Michael led with. And we're talking about redistricting. But for us, we have to connect that back to the American people. We have to remind them that Donald Trump called Governor Abbott and asked for 5 votes, just like he called Brad Raffensperger and asked for 11,780 votes years ago. He's doing this because he wants to hold power and he wants to eliminate accountability. And so for the American people, they need to know that a Democratic-led House is going to ask very difficult questions of this administration. And they don't want to answer that. And so they're trying to rig the system before we even get to the 2026 elections, because they don't want us asking about their attack and assault on Medicaid, because they don't want us asking accountability questions about them disappearing people off the streets, because energy prices are rising and we're going to have tough questions for the administration. They don't want that. And so this is their go-to response. And so we just have to connect those dots, Eugene.
Congressman, I've been talking to a lot of folks, particularly at the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, and folks who are advising on some of these races and, whose job is to help you all raise money. And they noted that the California redistricting is actually very important and underscored to me that you all have, by you all, I mean congressional Democratic leadership on the House side, have been exercising a very aggressive behind-the-scenes strategy, because between Texas, Missouri, New Hampshire, and Indiana, Republicans are potentially going to steal 15 seats in advance of the 2026 election through these, mid-decade redistricting. And California is your only real opportunity for you all to combat that. And so I was told that you all you worked very closely with Governor Newsom to put this strategy together. And if you juxtapose that with what people are, I just talked to some of the folks on the streets, sir, they're saying they feel like Democrats need to be doing more. But I know, because I'm talking to the folks about the behind-the-scenes strategy you all are employing. What, from the congressional House Democratic side, is the in front of the scenes strategy to go along with the real work y'all are doing behind the scenes? But there are a lot of folks who don't feel it. And in the states, some of these party chairs have told me that they feel as though the party is getting a bad rap because of some inaction on congressional Democrats' part, when in the states, they are moving and shaking and organizing and doing work. And, I wonder your thoughts on that.
Simone, we're doing the work. We are working hand in glove. Leader Jeffries, Whip Clark, and I, working with Susan DelBene and the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee and the entire California delegation, working with Governor Newsom. But our response is very clear. Every action Donald Trump takes needs to have an equal reaction. And so Texas moved forward. We told them not to do that. Governor Newsom sent a letter to the president telling him not to go down that path. But once they did, we are responding. And so our hope is that other states will respond if Indiana, Missouri, and Florida also take action and take steps. A special shout out to Wes Moore and Maryland for this weekend, for giving an interview and talking about the openness that Maryland has toward this. Look, we don't want this. Democrats want independent redistricting. We want it in 50 states. We just don't believe we should lose the election before we even start campaigning. And that's what we were set to do. If Donald Trump had his way, just like Michael said and Eugene mentioned, we were going to be 15, 16 seats down in January if we didn't do anything. And so we had to respond to protect our communities, to protect democracy, but also to fight for lower costs and to fix our healthcare system.